Good evening and welcome to my first Stitch with me. It is Saturday the 10th of March, but I will probably upload this on Wednesday just to space out my videos a little bit. I will try and make this as painless as possible. I've pre-threaded quite a few needles, as with my current setup I can't flip my Lowry. Next time hopefully it'll be a better setup, but it's getting late and I want to get this done before my husband gets home because he doesn't understand the concept of inside voice. So I think I said I'll be stitching on Stitch Rovia's quotes to live by, and I will be doing a random tag I found online. I did a Google search. Pretty sure I heard Gerald do this one. I looked at a lot of the cross-stitching tags, but none of them really apply to me because I'm a weird stitcher. So anyway, I'm going to get into it. If you have any questions or something you want me to talk about next time, just let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, I'm going to get started and hopefully it'll turn out okay. So, do you sleep with your closet doors open or closed? That is a complete no-brainer. They are closed. I don't even deal with them awake open. Unless I'm getting something out of them, they are closed. Now, do you take shampoo and conditioner bottles from hotels? No. I don't travel a lot. When I do, I often go home, so I'm staying with family anyway. But because of my OCD, I'm very particular about the products I use. So I don't even use the shampoo and conditioner that is in the hotels. Number 3, do you sleep with your sheets tucked in or out? Now, again, I think I'm a bit of a weird case. I don't have a top sheet. The bottom sheet is obviously tucked in. I think it's come from when I used to work nights and my husband would already be in bed, fast asleep by the time I got home. We actually for a very long time had separate doonas because I would get home, especially in the winter, and he would be wrapped in a cocoon of blankets and I could not get any of them. So rather than wake him and whatnot, we just ended up having separate doonas on the bed for a very long time. I've only worked day shift for I think 3 years now, and only last year did we actually get a doona to share. I think that is one thing that saved our marriage because we didn't fight over the blankets. But yeah, so we don't at all have a sheet to tuck in. So yes. Have you ever stolen a street sign? No, I have not. We used to have a sign that was stolen for my husband. Unfortunately, it was forgotten at a rental. It said Warner Place, and my last name is Warner, as is his obviously because I'm married to him. So that was kind of cool to have up, as much as I do not condone the stealing. It was pretty cool. But no, we accidentally left it at one of the rentals, and obviously have not replaced it because that is theft. Do you cut out coupons and then never use them? No, I do not, because unfortunately Australia does not have a couponing system. I would love to be a couponer. I think it would be so much fun. It's right up my alley of, stocking up for the apocalypse. But yeah, it's not a thing here. I don't know whether that's because we get paid a higher base rate, so they don't think we need to save as much, or whether it's just not the right culture for it. But yeah, no coupons, so there's none for me to forget. Would you rather be attacked by a big bear or a swarm of bees? I'm going to say bees, because unless I do something to seriously annoy them, they're not going to sting me. They can only sting someone once, and as I said, unless I'm doing something to really irritate them, I don't think that they will waste that on me. Do you always smile for pictures? I try to. I'm not sure how natural or how good it looks, but I think I've got a bit of resting bee face. So yes, I try to smile if I know the photo's being taken, because it would just look really nasty otherwise. Nope, nope, that was wrong. Of course it was. Distracted stitching. Glad I'm not doing a Haid, because that could just be a lot messier. Sorry, I'm back. I didn't want you to watch me struggle threading my needle. Do you ever count steps when you walk? Yes. If I'm not talking to someone or have something distracting me, I will often count. I count a lot of things. I think it's part of my OCD, so yes, I will count steps, but I try to avoid that and avoid my OCD as much by listening to podcasts if I'm not talking with someone. Okay. Have you ever peed in the woods? Does the bush count as woods? Because if so, then yes. I remember I used to travel a lot with my mother because our family sort of separated, and there's a lot of space between cities and towns in Australia. So yes, there have been, back in the day, not so much now, but there were many a times when I would, sorry, I'm just distracted and don't want to get this wrong. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yes, there was many times that we would have to pull over between towns and relieve ourselves in the bush. Do you still watch cartoons? I have 2 kids, yes. Even if I didn't, I quite like a lot of cartoons. Does Disney count as a cartoon? Because I watch a lot of that and still would, even without the children. Love Futurama, that's obviously a cartoon, but yeah, long answer short, yes, I do still watch cartoons. Where would you bury hidden treasure if you had some? You know what, I don't know. Probably in a really obvious place because no one would actually check there. Maybe under a fruit tree, something, yeah, don't know. Somewhere not so obvious, but I guess that's a pretty obvious answer, isn't that? Yeah, I don't know. Don't know where I would bury it. Probably under a fruit tree or something that's been there a long time, so it doesn't look like anything's buried there. What do you drink with dinner? Now, I don't actually often drink with dinner. I grew up where you didn't drink anything until you'd finished, most of the time, because if you didn't like something, you'd fill up with liquid and then, be too full to finish dinner. But no, if I'm out at a restaurant, I'll have a soft drink or a wine. If I've got friends over, I might have a wine, but generally I don't have anything with dinner, and I'll, you know, have a glass of water afterwards. What do you dip a chicken nugget in? Now it depends where I am. If it's a chicken nugget I make at home, I use tomato sauce. Not quite the same as ketchup, but similar. I don't think it's quite as sweet. If I go to like a takeaway place, sweet and sour, but it has to be their sweet and sour sauce. I have found that every takeaway place has perfectly manufactured their sauce to taste right with their nuggets. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, for me, you cannot mix the sauces. What movie could you watch over and over and still love? How long do you have? I do this to movies. It's something I do. I have watched many movies over and over and happily watch them and love them. Some of the most common, I guess, recently that I've done that with have been What's Your Number, Groundhog Day, and 12 Angry Men. Now, I'll see if I can do a pin stitch while you're watching. If not, I will cut it and come back. They're usually pretty good, but I'm worried that while you're watching, it's gonna go to poopy. I don't do pin stitch quite as neat as they're supposed to be done, I think. Yeah, see, now that you're watching, it's just not working. Okay, I'm gonna come back. Okay, I'm back. As I was saying, I don't do pin stitch quite as neat as it's supposed to be done. I don't know if that's my incompetence or whether the aider I purchase is quite stiff and a little bit nasty, if I'm going to be honest, but it's cheap and allows me to get a lot more projects kitted up. Back to the questions. Were you ever a Girl Scout? No, I was not. I don't know if it's actually a thing in Australia. Have never seen Girl Scout cookies anywhere, much to my chagrin, but no. Would you ever strip or pose nude in a magazine? No, not because I think it's a bad thing, but because I am nowhere near confident enough with my own body to be naked in front of anyone other than my husband or a doctor if necessary. Can you change the oil on your car? No, but yes, kind of. I can replace oil if it's low or empty, but I don't know how to change it if it's dirty. It is something that I should learn and probably will learn eventually, but up until now it hasn't really been high priority. Have you ever gotten a speeding ticket? No, I do not speed. I drive very much like a granny. I drive out of necessity. I do not enjoy driving. Driving makes me nervous, not because I don't trust my own abilities, but because I don't trust everyone else on the road. So I am very conservative. I slow down quite early before I turn. I never go above the speed limit. Yeah, I'm just very, very cautious when I'm driving. So no, never got a speeding ticket because I never speed. Afraid of heights? Oh yes. I get vertigo playing games. I played Minecraft for a little bit when it first came out to play with the kids. If I got too high with the buildings, I would get vertigo. I played WoW, World of Warcraft, for a long time. I struggled to fly because if I looked down at the ground, it would give me vertigo. Yeah, I do not like heights at all. Do you sing in the car? If there's music on that I know, I will. I'm pretty limited to what I know. I know a lot of what my mother used to play. I know some of the current hits if they were like played to death, but I don't often actually listen to music ever, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned in one of my floss tube videos when I did the Know Your Needle Worker tag. And I'm struggling to find the hole. It really is late. Is Christmas stressful? Yes and no. The actual season isn't. I love the season of Christmas, spending time with family. We don't really do gifts, so we do gifts for the children, but it's been a rule for quite a long time that you don't get adults gifts unless it's sort of something small like a box of chocolates. Just because there are so many people in the family, it would be ludicrously expensive. So I don't have the pressure of gift giving or a lot of shopping. The reason I do find it stressful is because I work in retail and have done for pretty much all of my work life. Had a 2-year break where I was a cleaner at a hospital. That Christmas was pretty chill. But yes, normally I work in retail and Christmas is insane. I am currently at a chemist and I thought that would be pretty consistent because, you know, you need meds constantly. No, it's still crazy. I don't know if it's because the chemist I work at does a lot of fragrance and has really good prices at Christmas, but it's manic and yeah. And then it's followed straight up by the Boxing Day sales and New Year. So my current job, Christmas is extremely stressful. Just at work though. Occupations you wanted to be when you were a kid. As a younger child, I wanted to be a teacher, and then towards the end of primary school, an author, because I fell deeply, deeply in love with books and wanted to be able to create the magic that I was reading. Then when I got to high school, I fell in love with science and either wanted to be a science teacher or studying in some sort of field, especially biology. I absolutely adore biology, still love it, and do sort of a little bit of my own research now. That didn't happen, obviously. When I moved to Canberra, I pretty quickly had to get a full-time job because I needed to be able to afford rent. Didn't get into the uni I wanted straight away. I'm pretty sure that's college for most people, question mark. I was 17 going on 18, so whatever that is. Didn't get into the uni that I wanted, so I decided to go full-time work and do it that way. And then I met my husband at that full-time work and we moved in together. So it was sort of, we had to keep working to maintain the rent because it was, you know, just us responsible. I wasn't paying board to a family member. And then we fell pregnant. So that was put on hold. I'm not upset at all. Like, I don't actually know if that's something I still want to do. I love research, but there's not a huge possibility for that in Canberra. I love this place too much to move anywhere else. Maybe one day I'll get a degree and work at the zoo, but for now I'm more than happy to do a job that, you know, puts food on the table and puts my children through their dancing, because we live at the dance studio and honestly I wouldn't have it any other way. Do you believe in ghosts? Yes, I do. There's been a few things happen in my life. I don't know if it's of any interest to you guys, so I'm not going to go too into it, but I definitely think that the spirits visit you. I don't know if it's a permanent thing or whether it's not long after they've passed. I don't know if there are spirits that stay on the earthly realm for longer, but I definitely think there are things that really can't be explained any other way. I have recently become Catholic, but you know, you don't have to fully believe everything to be part of a community. I think if you take the essence of Catholicism, or at least the church I'm part of, it's about the community, and who's to say that there isn't a God? I'm not going to make that claim. So yeah, do believe in ghosts, but I don't know 100% how they work, because who does really? We don't even know how we work, let alone ghosts. Sorry, I probably should have paused it again. This isn't very interesting. My pin stitch is a mess, but it works, so I don't care. But I've tangled it up underneath. Yeah, show us your backside's going to be interesting. Sorry, maybe I should pause these. I think I've just undone that, haven't I? Yep. Goodness gracious. Well, the mess is here, I may as well embrace it. The first concert you ever went to. Again, I'm not a huge lover of music, so I think I've only been to one concert, and that was Human Nature, the Motown record, or the Motown, whatever their first one was, because that's pretty much the only music that I know. I've been and seen a lot of comedians. They don't count as concerts, but yes, I've seen many, many more comedians than I have music concerts, and that I ever will see of music concerts, because it's just not my thing. Walmart, Target, or Kmart. Now, these companies are very, very different things in Australia. We don't have a Walmart. Target and Kmart are department stores. There's a few lollies, but not a lot of food. If I was going to pick, probably Kmart. They're just cheaper by a lot than Target, and the quality of Target isn't that much better to explain the price increase. So yes, would probably have to go Kmart, though from the department stores here, I think Big W is probably my favourite. And I'm all sorts of everywhere with my stitching today. This is, sorry, a bit odd being so mindful of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And I'm also relatively new to two-handed stitching, but I thought it'd be a little better to watch. I think I've swapped hands, haven't I? I don't know. Sorry guys, this is a complete hot mess. Hopefully I'll improve. Nike or Adidas? I don't do sand shoes or sneakers or whatever you want to call them. I'm very much a girly girl. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I buy sand shoes for working out. Even then, it's just like cheap ones, because I don't run, I don't do anything outdoors. I like my heels, and that's what I spend most of my time in. So yes, neither. Can you curl your tongue? Yes, I can. I can curl it one way and then I think flip it upside down, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I can curl it and flip it upside down. Have you ever cried because you were so happy? I think so. I cry a lot, so I'm assuming so. I'm pretty emotional, especially with the manic highs and lows, so yeah, I cried a lot. The last concert you saw? That's the first concert I saw, Human Nature, again, because I just don't do concerts. Can you swim well? I guess it depends on your definition of well. I would be able to save myself, wouldn't drown. Even in sort of a strong current, I could sort of tread water enough to wait it out. But I don't really know, or I don't do these official strokes very well. It's not something that I ever learnt. Swimming lessons are extremely expensive, which is stupid because it's such an important life skill, especially when, you know, your entire country is covered, you know, surrounded by water. And I grew up on the coast, but yeah, my swimming lessons are extremely expensive, and my mum was a single mum to 4 kids, so there was just no way that she could afford to do it to the point of learning the strokes. She did it long enough so we were safe, and that was about it. Can you knit or crochet? Yes. I've never really followed it through to a complete project, but I can knit and crochet relatively well. Depending on the pattern, I can't always follow it because there's a lot of terms that I don't know. Crochet isn't as good as knitting, as my great-grandmother taught me how to do it, and that was a really long time ago. She obviously didn't teach me, oh well, I don't know if it's obvious, but she didn't teach me from patterns, and unfortunately when I had siblings, I also lost that special time with her, so it has been a great number of years since I have crocheted. I could probably still do it, sort of like riding a bike, I suppose, but I would have to learn again what all of the stitches were and the specific names to follow a pattern. But yeah, I can do the basic chain stitch, and yeah, yes and no, basically. And last question, are you a dog person or a cat person? That is super duper easy and obvious. I am a cat person. I don't mind dogs. I'll happily play with dogs. Wouldn't mind having my own dog, but definitely cats. Cats are my jam. I don't feel right unless I have a cat. They are so calming. I absolutely adore them. Especially my current kitty. She's a rag doll, so she is very, very clingy. She loves peopling. So yeah, I very much love cats. I would live in a house full of cats if I could, but dogs I could, you know, take or leave. They're gorgeous, but don't necessarily need one in my life. Now, that's all of the questions. As I said, if there's anything that you want to know about me, or maybe a topic that you think could be good for me to discuss, feel free to leave it as a comment below. You can always contact me via Instagram, either Therese.stitches or Therese.j.warner. I'm constantly on both. But yeah, I've also realized since putting, or in the process of putting subtitles on my videos tonight, I say an awful lot. So I'm going to try and work on that, because now that I've realized it's like sort of chalk on a blackboard, I can just hear it, or nails on a chalkboard, or whatever that saying is. It's really, really getting to me. But I think that's going to do it for me for now. I might finish up this thread, or at least close up this border. I will let you go, and sorry, these, I love gridding, but sometimes they just get in the way. And again, I don't know if I'm just incompetent or whether they actually do get in the way. My stitching is not the neatest, especially now that I'm doing 3/1. It's quite bulky, but I don't mind. I'm happy with it, and that's all that matters, isn't it? So as I said, I'll just finish this up. I will leave it there chatting, because I don't know what else to say, and I don't want to make your ears bleed with nonsense. But thank you for watching if you've made it to the end, and I will see you on Saturday for my next Stitchy update.